Alright, so in this video we're going to take a look at factoring the trinomial itself and how that goes. And so we have a procedure. The procedure I spoke of in the first video is this thing I call bottoms up, or that I've adopted from somebody that I found on the internet, or shared throughout different teachers along the way. And so this technique basically takes the guesswork out. So I'm going to leave this right here. You can always come back and look at this piece, and it kind of guides you through. And so just kind of in a nutshell, I will run through it. Remember in quadratic formula, remember in a quadratic form, you have an A, a B, and a C. And so when we look at the A, it's always in front of the x squared, the B is always in front of the x, and then you have your C. Well, this technique is that you take the first term and the last term, the A and the C, and you multiply them together. And that's what gives you your product. Your B, that middle term, is your sum. And so then the process becomes, well, what are the factors of that product that will add together to give me that procedure? You just put them in place. So after you watch the video and you kind of watch it a couple of times, you can come back and look at this example and see what we did. Alright, let's just go ahead and jump into our examples, and then we'll use the procedure along the way. Alright, so to start us off, we take the A term times the C term, and that will be our product. So I put a P out here, and that P stands for product. And so my product is 3 times 8, which is equal to 24. I take the sum, which is 14. And then now I'm looking for my factors. So now I'm looking for my factors of 24. So I'm going to put 24 down here. I'm looking for my factors of 24 that when are added or subtracted, that will give me 14. So I'm going to pull my graphing calculator into this for a second. And the reason I'm going to use my graphing calculator is just to kind of expedite the process of factors. And this is a technique that I use in class, face-to-face, all the time. So watch the video and just learn the process. So I want to see some factors. So I do y equals 24 divided by x. I go to my table. My table is located at second graph. So second graph. What I see here inside my table now is I see that my factors are 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, 5 does not go in, and 6 and 4. So I've turned the corner, I've come back around. So, like I said, that right there you could have done by hand on this easier one, but as we get more complicated, the numbers get larger, that really becomes an easier process. And as a matter of fact, as we move along, I won't even write down the factors like this. I was doing this just for the conversation of seeing them come off the calculator into the list. Alright, so let's tuck that away. So back to the process. We're looking for two numbers from these factors that add together to give us 14. Because we already know we're going to multiply, the product is 24. So two numbers that give us 14 are going to be 2 and 12. So we come up here, we have 2 and 12. So those are our factors. We take those factors over and we place them in their parentheses. So we have m plus 2 and m plus 12. Okay, so now once again, this is just a process. There's no guessing to this point. It's just a process of one step to the next. Alright, so that becomes a situation where I could pull in the bottoms up. So this is why this thing's called bottoms up, because now we take this leading coefficient and we bring that leading coefficient down and we place it underneath each one of these guys. Okay, process. This is the next step. From there, we simplify if we can. So in this case here, 3 does not go into 2. That's why it's called bottoms up, because you're seeing that the bottom will go up into. 3 does not go into 2, and so since 3 does not go into 2, we move that 3 out in front. So this factor becomes 3m plus 2. On the next one, we look to see, does the bottom go up? And sure enough, 3 goes into 12, and 3 goes into 12, and we get m plus 4. Those are our factors. That's the process. So product sum factor, bring the numbers over, bottoms up, bring your leading coefficient down, see if it goes up. If it doesn't, move it out in front. Alright, I'm going to stop that video right there and I'll just make separate videos for each one.